JPC letters. Let us clearly note the differing work of the first and second rays. HPB wrote to members of her esoteric school, "Let every member know that the time for such priceless acquisition is limited. The writer of the present is old, her life is well nigh worn out, and she may be summoned home any day and almost any hour. And if her place is even filled up, perchance by another worthier and more learned than herself, still there remain but 12 years to the last hour of the term, namely, till December the 31st, 1899. Those who will not have profited by the opportunity given to the world in every last quarter of a century, those who will not have reached a certain point of psychic and spiritual development, or that point from which begins the cycle of adeptship, by that day, those will advance no further than the knowledge already acquired. No master of wisdom from the East will appear or send anyone to Europe or America after that period, and the sluggards will have to renounce every chance of advancement in their present incarnation, until the year 1975. Such is the law, for we are in Kali Yuga, the Black Age, and the restrictions in this cycle, the first 5,000 years of which will expire in 1897, are great and almost insuperable. HPB. Collected Writings, Vol. 12, 491-492. End quote. Regards the 1975 prediction given out by HPB, it would be a good intellectual exercise to consider that she refers to a first-ray cycle, and as such a centennial impulse indicates a 100-year ray cycle. She was referring only to a first-ray cycle teaching, and not the later agreed teaching to come in on the second-ray cycle. The work of HPB came in on that 100-year cycle of 1875. It will be notable to the student of HPB that she was a first-ray disciple of Maria and revealed along a first-ray approach and dissemination of the secret doctrine all that could be revealed and no more. It was not her duty to reveal along the second-ray approaches to truth, not of the Christ, or much more than she did. No decision had at that time been made for the reappearance of the Christ, which until then remained undecided. It was AAB who, being a second-ray torchbearer, was able to reveal newly arrived at decisions by the head of hierarchy, the Christ on the second ray, anent his reappearance to humanity. Hence the second phase teachings were of a second-ray nature, and from the second-ray ashram of the Tibetan master DK, whom she was closely working with by instruction of the Chohung Kh. It is notable to the student that he, the Tibetan DK, a second-ray initiate, took his fifth initiation in 1875. The fifth initiation is governed by the first ray and therefore is along the line of the first ray centennial cycle and revealed and undertaken in the latter 25 years of a century. Let us consider the words of HPB, that point from which begins the cycle of adeptship, between in this case 1875 and, till December the 31st, 1899, and if we refer to the work of AAB also is made possible by the Master's response to the first ray of power or of the will to good, experience in its second aspect at the fifth initiation. This initiation is experienced on the first aspect or sub-ray of the second ray. HPB clearly reveals the first ray cycle and predicts that within that cycle and numerical period, no further first-ray initiate will come, not until the next first-ray cycle of last quarter 1975, although, as in this case, an early century first-quarter second-ray dissemination became due. JPC Letters. May 7, 2012.